Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. And I'm Rich Schefren, and today we are talking about offers. So, lots to talk about today. So, if you're just joining me, please say hello. Let me know where you're from. And as always, guys, if you're watching this, no matter what platform you're watching this on, please comment, please emote. If you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, emote. If you're watching on any of the platforms, though, please share. And if you share this, please put hashtag shared so I can thank you personally. My name is Rich Schefren. The company that I founded 20 years ago online was Strategic Profits. And the product that is our flagship product these days is Steal Our Winners. And I'm here and I do these live streams every Tuesday from 2 to 4. Like today, and every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m., both times Eastern. And today we're talking about offers. We talked about offers last Tuesday. Then on Thursday, we had Jordan Menard is in the house. Man, we got to catch up. I'll call you late tonight. We talked about offers last Tuesday. I also recommended that book, $100 million Offers by Alex Hormozi. And then on Thursday, we took a break from what we were doing to actually do a special kind of release. And for those who may not be aware, just want to quickly mention that. I believe that the industry is about to change. And if you know my backstory, you know that I've consistently called things ahead of time, and my prediction rate or my accuracy rate relatively high. And so what I see is that people really haven't taken some of the messages that I wrote reports about 15 years ago, about attention scarcity, about recognizing moves in the market and understanding what really needs to be delivered to people and how they experience value nowadays as opposed to before. And more along those lines, the idea that while there's been an explosion of courses out there and platforms that host programs, right? Courses. I would imagine I'm not alone. I would imagine most of you are on the same page when I tell you that there are literally tons of courses that I wish I had the time to go through. And more often than not, what determines what I really get through is the length of time that piece has. So for example, I read, Alex Hormozi's book like about a week ago on offers, and I wanted to review some other stuff on offers. And I have some really big programs on it from others. I would have liked to have gone through those, but the only one that I could go through was one by Traffic and Funnels, because it was an hour long, and that was digestible, especially if I did it fast. So, I want to, once again, just please comment, emote. If you're on Facebook, please join our free Facebook group, Strategic Profits. Lots of cool stuff for you in there. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, please follow. And if you're watching on Periscope, why the hell are you still on Periscope? We actually have 2 people on Periscope watching right now. Not trying to insult 3 people. So there you go. So anyway, yeah, so we're talking about offers today, and I had a quick little brownout right before, about at 11 o'clock this morning or 11:30, and didn't check my equipment, and then came back up here at about 1:30, ready to kind of get ready for the live stream, and none of my cameras worked, and I had to reset my computer. That didn't work. I reset my cameras. That didn't work. And then it turned out to be the USB-C hub that I had on my desk that needed to be reset. And so I just got everything live like a couple minutes ago. I wanted to organize some notes for you guys ahead of time, so I think we'll have to go through some raw notes. But other than that, I think we're good to go. And I wanted to first kind of just quickly get back up to speed about offers and why they're so important. And I will then cut to saying hello to everyone. So let's just talk about offers for a second here. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking their product is what they're selling. And at the end of the day, that's not what they're selling. They're selling their offer. And there's lots of things that can be done to make an offer a lot more sexy in its presentation and therefore a lot more desirable, even if the product itself does not change. I want to be very clear on that. Even if you changed absolutely nothing about your product, absolutely nothing about your guarantee, absolutely nothing changed as far as what you delivered, you could still, by altering how you present that offer, could make a sizable difference in the amount that you sell. And so we want to talk about some of those definitely today. The mistake that a lot of people make, and it was a mistake that I made, so I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistake I made. I made the mistake 15 years ago. I don't know what happened. I recognized the importance of offers back then. And then at some point, I moved away from it and my offers got relatively lousy. And therefore, my marketing skills got better and better and better because I had to move people more in my marketing because the offer itself was not overly compelling. And I didn't realize this until after I had taught Russell Brunson like automated webinars. He had created an automated webinar that he was really proud of. So he sent it to me, High Ticket Selling Secrets. And when he sent it to me and I watched it, I thought it was like the worst webinar that I'd ever seen. The 3 secrets that he was revealing about high ticket selling was 1, that you make more money selling high ticket than low ticket. 2, you don't need a lot of traffic to sell high ticket. And 3, you don't have to get on the phone yourself to sell high ticket. So those were the 3 secrets. And then he went to the offer. And when he explained the offer, I realized that I had bad offers my whole life. He made the offer feel like I could buy this today and I could be selling high ticket tomorrow, because everything seemed as if all I had to do was one more step. So and to give you an example, from the pitch, it was like, I'm going to give you the page off of my website that people apply for my high ticket program. All you have to do is change some of the details for yourself and you'll be able to use that very same page. I'm going to give you an ad to find a commission-only salesperson. I'm going to tell you the places to run that ad, and I'm going to give you a process to review those people. And the few people that you end up talking to interview, I'm going to give you the questions to ask. So everything felt right. Like all I had to do was press the buy button, click on the buy button, and all of a sudden I'd be selling high ticket. And so I realized at that moment that the offer is not just like you give me X dollars and I give you Y, right? But everything in your mind that you have to do with Y to ultimately get what it is you really want is part of the offer. And it's one of the reasons why, like when I talk about your business being a system, and that, at the end of the day, the Netflix system was just a better system for watching like the movie of your choice than the Blockbuster system. Because in one system you could stream in, and the other one you had to get in your car and you drive and rent and stuff like that, right? So at the end of the day, your customer is looking at your business like a system to get an outcome, and how much work they have to do determines quite a bit of how valuable or how much they like that system, right? So the more effort that you can take off the shoulders of your prospects or your customers, either in reality or in perception, you dramatically increase the sales ability or the irresistibility or the ability to get people to buy on impulse, because of the disproportionate level of work that now a much more reduced level of work to get my outcome. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And if it does, then that's the very kind of like core piece that I really want you to get, because it's so easy to think that what you have is so valuable because you know what ultimately someone gets, right? But people are inherently lazy. It's why the market for supplements, for weight loss supplements, is much bigger than the amount spent on going to the gym, right? Like we buy stuff, right, where ideally we are very close to the outcome, right? I don't know about you guys, but the idea of buying something and then having a lot of work to do is, as I get older, less and less appealing. So anyway, so let's say hi, and then we'll review some documents. I actually added an extra camera angle since I was messing around with my cameras, trying to get them to work. I actually went to another camera first to see if maybe there was something wrong with my camera after I reset my camera. So now I have 2 cameras set up, and just to give you a perspective on it, let's see, I should be able to go right there. So that's my other camera, at least for today. And this will be actually helpful as I'm looking at the, as I'm sharing my screen for the Evernote stuff on offers. So there you go. Probably not the best focus on that one yet, but I think for today it's good enough. All right. So Trader Rob, hey there from Riverview, Florida, shared on Facebook. Then Trader Rob, you are my hero. Thank you for sharing. I got my miner's hat on and I'm ready for some gold. Cool. Hello from Brazil. Hello, Renan. Good to see you. Hello, Curtis from Edmonton. And Jordan, man, I like the sound of this a lot. Well, I like you a lot, Jordan. And long time no speak, but I'll be out in your neck of the woods in just a few weeks. Duran from Lucerne, and Joe. How's it going, Joe? And Stephen, hey to you too. And Reading Ranch is watching on YouTube. No, I meant where are you watching in? Like from what state, country, location? Looking forward to this, Rich. Cool, Brian. Looking forward to sharing some stuff. Glad to see you, my friend. And hey, Amit, good to see you. And sharing chill with Kat. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Curtis, for sharing. I appreciate you. And hey, Rich, how are you? I'm looking forward to wealth strategies. Wealth strategies, we're talking about offers, but hopefully that leads to some great wealth for you. And hey, Jason in Tampa, good to see you. And I hope you are having a great day. I am having a great day. Sounds like we need to tap into Alex and Taylor's offers programs. Well, Alex doesn't have a program. He has a very interesting kind of, I would say, and maybe this is, obviously I see the lens biasedly, but I would say that like what Alex is doing is really smart, and it's like a better and more powerful way than what I did with the manifesto. He's writing a series of books. Instead of them being completely free, they're 99 cents on Amazon. And if you have Prime or Kindle Unlimited, I think it's free. And so he doesn't have any products or programs to sell unless your business is between 3 and 10 million. And then like, if you want him to mentor you, you got to give up a piece of your business. So I think it's a brilliant overall strategy because cream will rise to the top, right? It's one of the reasons why I've had so many successful guru clients and stuff like that. Like the cream rises to the top and people ask people, where did you learn from? Where did you learn from? And people find their way back to me. And with the masterclass from Traffic and Funnels, if that's available for sale, it's not a bad buy. I would say that. So something to check out. I can tell you what the biggest takeaway was that I got from it. And I'll probably share that on this live stream. So if you chill, at least you'll get what I got. The one thing that was much bigger than anything else that I got out of that program. Brian in Texas, good to see you. And Sam good from the UWS. What is UWS? Should I know that? I guess I should. Adam in New York. Good to see you, Adam. And Bailey in the UK. Thank you for your appreciation. And Red Lip Marketing in Colombia. Arriving late so I can watch at 1.25 virtual hug. Oh, that's smart. Hello from Kentucky. Hello, Joe and Alan. Oh, damn, I owe you a call too. Hi from Las Vegas. Thanks so much for the recommendation to read Alex's brilliant $100 million offer. Loved it and look forward to reading your insights on it. Cool. Shared, Renan. Thank you. John from Calgary. Hello. And Jen's in Germany. Good to see you, Jens and Brian. What's the name of the book again? 100 million. It's 100M, I think and it's on Amazon. But it's Alex Hormozi. Rich, I meant the 3 money strategies you're going to talk about. I'm already working on my way through Alex's book. Okay. Jonathan Melbourne. Hey, John, how's it going in Melbourne? And John in London, and Mark Canty. Yeah, long time no speak. And Matthew in Great Neck, New York. Matt, do you know that I grew up in Great Neck, New York? In Kings Point in Great Neck, New York. Where are you, Matthew? That is a random thing. I had loved Alex's book. Very cool. Total random, and then we'll dive in. When I had my hypnosis clinics, and when we first opened, it was just my ex-wife and I, and so the first couple of clients we got to know pretty well, and I don't remember the woman, but her name, but she was one of these clients. And at some point we got into talking, and I said, we were talking about where we grew up, and she said she grew up in Great Neck. And I said, wow, where did you grow up? I said, Long Island. She said, Long Island. I said, where in Long Island? And she said, Great Neck. I said, so did I. She said, where in Long Island? I said, Great Neck. She said, so did I. I said, we're in Great Neck. She said, Kings Point, which is a town inside of the town. She said, so did I. I said, what street? And she said, Pine Tree Drive. And I said, so did I. She said, what number? I said, 10. She said, so did I. So she was her bedroom was the same bedroom as mine when the house was first built. I mean, it was kind of crazy, right? So really kind of random that I would have someone from my hometown on the live stream, especially because I don't go back there very often at all. But I'm watching in Las Vegas. I'm on my 3rd lesson of Alex's book, So Actionable. Very cool. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm in Kings Point. Hopefully not at 10 Pine Tree Drive. Very cool. Hey, Rich, great book. Yeah, I thought so too. Come on, Rich. Upper West Side Broadway. Oh, okay. Upper West Side. Yeah. Okay. If in context, I would know that. Yes, totally get it, Sam. That's funny. Right on Ellard Avenue. I think I know Ellard Avenue. But anyway, all right. So I'm not sure which to start with. Well, you know what? Let me start with actually something I learned from Taylor Welch, right? So the Traffic and Funnels offer masterclass had a bunch of stuff in it, and I took a couple of pages of notes, but the idea that I loved more than any of them, that I think also has tremendous power. And I think that many of you, if you're reading Alex's book, then you will appreciate this, because it's, one, not in Alex's book, but 2, it reaffirms what Alex is talking about as far as confidence in you and certainty in them getting their outcome. Like, what can you do in your offer to increase that? And anyone who's coached will automatically know what Taylor is talking about here. But for those who have never coached, you'll just, I guess, have to take my word for it, his word for it, or anyone who who has been a coach. But oftentimes people will throw up questions or objections to a sale about some future problem that they'll have if the offer or product is successful. Like, I don't want to, it's the equivalent of saying, I don't want to work out because I'm afraid I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, it's absolutely absurd. It's like, I'm afraid to get your offer masterclass because then I might have too many customers and then I wouldn't know how to manage them. Right? People will often bring up problems that don't currently exist, that when the product is successful, they might have that problem. Right? And this is very common, extremely common. And, oftentimes when I'm coaching, I tell people, like, look, you don't have to see all the way to your final outcome when you get in your car and you drive at night. All you see is, 20 feet in front of you, 30 feet in front of you, 30 yards in front of you, whatever. And that's far enough to see to know where you need to go. And when you get there, you'll see another 30 yards ahead. And that's how you have to deal with these things. You can't be worried about problems that don't currently exist. And so, but what Taylor in this Traffic and Funnels Offer Masterclass, what he talks about is adding a premium, adding a bonus that addresses a future problem that is one of the most common, or one of the ones that people bring up the most. And what that does is kind of increases the certainty that, one, they're going to get the outcome. Two, it increases their confidence in you, because like, if you know that this is a future problem and you're handling it, you must get people to that success. So it's a really smart concept. And it's like, if your beginning is here, their current state, and they want to get here, this is where like your product or service or program or whatever gets them to, you might want to have a premium that exists over here, right? And the reason for that is the increase in confidence and the increase in certainty. Now, another part since we're talking about a premium and how to increase the sexiness of an offer, let me know what your thoughts of that are. I think that's genius. I really do. And I hope you think it's genius. And so I'm curious, though, what your thoughts are on it. Because when he spoke about it, I was kind of, I dug it. I dug it a lot. So that's that. So now let's talk about just some miscellaneous stuff about premiums. You can oftentimes handle a lot of the objections in premiums, right? Like, so let's say you needed to, like, let's say, for example, that my coaching program, right, which is not on the market right now, so I'm just that, someone might say, or people might say, I haven't figured out my niche yet, so I can't really yet work on my business. But once I figure out my niche, then I'll be able to join your program. Well, I could do a premium that was on the exact steps to find the perfect niche, for you and a business to grow, with strategic profits or whatever, right? So that could be like one strategy, right? Just having a premium that answers that objection. Now, I could also then take that premium, right? And I could create urgency on it by saying, that's what a funny coincidence that's a challenge, because next Friday, I have a webinar for my clients on how to find the perfect niche. So as long as you join before next Friday, you will get that absolutely free, where I walk you step by step on figuring out the right niche for you, right? So I could make it a specific time and place, right? And therefore create more urgency to do it now. So that's another way. You could take a premium and actually put either some kind of urgency factor, right? Whether that's quantity, whether that's time, whatever, and actually leverage that premium even more. Let me know if that makes sense. If that does, if that brings up any questions. But the point I'm trying to make here is that earlier, at the very beginning of this live stream, I said there are many things that you can do without changing anything of the product and what you're ultimately giving someone to increase the perceived value and the sexiness of your offer, right? Well, certainly, if there are hot button issues for your market, right? A lot of times what you can do is you can pull those out of your product and actually relabel them as a different piece, a different component, a different premium, a bonus, right? And that allows you to fixate and focus people's attention on it. So even though the offer might be totally the same, like as far as what's actually given, by breaking things up and breaking things up to handle objections, to hit on hot button issues. These things can make a huge difference in the desirability of your offer. All right. So let me know if this resonates with you or if it doesn't. And even just a yes is better than just sitting there not doing anything. It's better for you because it lets Facebook know that you're interested, or YouTube, or wherever you're watching. But it also it's good for me, one, because I'm getting feedback, but two, it's also good because the platforms, right? The more engaged you guys are, the better it is for me. And I can either try and spend time thinking of clever ways to have you engaged, or I can just be blatantly honest and tell you, I just want to deliver good shit to you. And if you will engage with me as much as possible, that makes my job easier. And then I can just focus on good content. Right. I mean, one of the reasons I pull up the comments as much as I do is that gets more people to comment. And if you don't comment, then this just sits and lingers, and it doesn't get shown to other people, which is the whole point, right? For us, is for me to give you value and find other people that I can give value to. How to make offers so good, people. Okay, that was the subhead of that book. There it is. Did he give an example? Did who give an example? Great stuff, Rich. I'm in Calgary. You made a reference to being in Edmonton in the coming weeks. Not Edmonton. I'm not going to be in Canada. Perhaps I can attend whatever you're doing. My name is actually Bill Wash. Not sure where came from. Well, I think if you go to StreamYard, you might be able to change that. StreamYard, maybe it's /YouTube. Not really sure. Or maybe that's your name in YouTube. It should be your name. But good to see you, Bill. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be in Canada. I'm going to be in Arizona, Phoenix. All right. Let's see. Where did I just lost my place? There it is. Alessandra. Hello, Alessandra. I have seen the offer and copy of Agora, and they are always very attractive. But how do they keep their promises? They always speak about incredible returns, but it's impossible to be, right? Well, I think you have to be. If you read it carefully, they write a line, right? And so nothing that they're saying in most of those offers is untrue, but they're also not making any specific claim that something will happen for you. Hope that helps, Alessandra. Resonates. Thank you, Gerald. Offer versus product. Give a strong offer in place. Do you think the supplement dropshipping model is still valid, knowing the quality is not premium? Well, Sam, I mean, why would is there a way to disguise that, right? Like, why would the prospect know that it's being dropshipped? Not really sure. Maybe you can illuminate that for me. Makes perfect sense. Cool. Talk more offers, Rich. The people want it. They need it. Cool. Isolated pain points to premiums. That's brilliant. So rather than putting a key result benefit in the main product itself, create a premium that addresses a key objection and highlight that result or benefit even more. Yeah, if you want to increase attention on that, like, yeah, you would pull it out, make it a specific separate thing, right? So that therefore you can go on and talk about that at some length. And be thinking about instead of thinking about what the product this was something that became clearer and clearer to me as I worked on webinar scripts, that it is much more powerful to be, and as I'm writing webinar scripts, it felt really awkward for me to write the script. I was writing a script. It felt awkward to be writing bullets like inside. You'll find the 7 key, like that's just strange, right? For me to be talking like that on a webinar. So that didn't feel comfortable. So what did feel comfortable, which I think in the end just made me a better copywriter, and that's why I'm sharing it with you, is that instead of writing bullets like that, especially for a webinar, but I think you could apply this everywhere, is that really be thinking about what will be different for the prospect customer after that. So instead of me talking and having 7 bullets, right, about like the contents of module 2 of my coaching program, right? Instead of doing that, your standard kind of fascination bullets, instead, what will be true for the customer after having gone through that? So, instead of saying, if we're talking about finding your niche, right? In this action-packed, time-sensitive webinar, I'm going to be covering, this doesn't exist, so I'm going to be covering the 7 most profitable and lucrative niches that exist, and the 3 primary areas that all expensive offers, all high converting offers overlap with, right? So that could be like a blind bullet of like something that you're going to learn, right? But you can also talk about it from the standpoint of when this webinar is done, you will have, right? You will know the most profitable niches that exist in the market, the 3 overlaps of all highly successful offers, and you will have picked out the niche that works for you, that is most profitable, that blah, blah, blah. You'll also have a running head start because you'll have identified and have JV partners already identified based on the work that we'll do. You'll have right? An avatar map of that. So in other words, like what will they have? What will they be able to do? How will life be different? Like from that, right? And you focus on that. And by doing that, you're now taking people into the future. So just like we were talking about before, right? One about traffic and funnels and Taylor Welch's concept of like pulling something from the future and adding that as a premium, which I think makes a lot of sense. Also, instead of focusing on what people are going to discover, what they're going to learn, what they're going to read, what they're going to view, right? Which is more focused on the consumption side, that you should have equal, if not more, and sometimes complete, right? Focus on the future of difference. So take them into the future. Why take them to the point of the work? Take them past the work. What, after they've done that work, what will be true for them that is not true now, right? Like, don't sell me on the practice, sell me on the final result. And sell me on what how life will be and what it will feel like. Like if I've been going to F45 recently, which is a workout facility, and I'm getting in the best shape of my life, right? But like if someone's going to sell me on F45, they want to sell me on how I feel right now, not like what it feels like when I'm going through the class in the mornings, because it's not that pleasant. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's not why I'm going, right? So does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, because I think that oftentimes people put way too much emphasis on what they've got, what they're trying to sell, as opposed to the difference that it's going to make in the life of the person. And that's what you got to focus on, right? It's like that quote from Jay Abraham. Most entrepreneurs fall in love with the wrong thing. They either fall in love with their business or their product, when in fact they should fall in love with their customer, right? So there you go. What is it that they most want to do? Hey, Mark, what is the name of the book? Jesus Christ. I hope I should get an affiliate commission from that. Yes, that's killer. Cool. Good idea. Cool. Hello, Rich. Hello, everyone from Miami. Hello, Hugo. Did the person I tell to contact you ever contact you, Hugo? I don't even remember who it was. Hey, Mark, what is the name of Alex's book? Thanks, Rich. It's if the offer in terms of copy and bonuses is good, can I charge any price or are there better price points? Well, it really depends on what it is that the perceived value is currently for that thing. Now, there are ways of breaking that frame that your offer currently exists in as far as perceived value. But, it's so let's just talk a second about reference points, because this is another thing that I think most people don't fully get. And, I would say that even some of my peers and friends are guilty of this, although I think they would have some objection, but I think they're wrong. So a bunch of years ago, that's really accurate, right? Like like about a decade ago, actually, a bunch of people, myself included, we all launched different newsletters, and the the quite a few of my friends, peers, competitors, whatever you want to call them, produced their newsletter like a magazine. And I chose to print it in a totally different way so that it would never be mistaken for a magazine. And let me explain why. Okay. Everything has a preconceived, or not everything, most things have a preconceived reference point as to what it should cost about, right? Think about a magazine, for example. So for countless years, I've bought Harvard Business Review at a newsstand when I'm flying or when I'm going someplace. Now, a bunch of years ago, Harvard Business Review was $15. Now, it's a great deal because a lot of the articles will eventually be turned into books that will be, one, take a lot more space. The idea will be the same. And so it really is, it's just a good deal. However, it sits on a rack of magazines that are generally $3 or $4, or it used to be when that was 15. So it always made me pause, like second thought it, and not want to buy it because it seemed like it was more expensive than it should be, not because of the content, but because what it was displayed next to and what it had been packaged as. I had another experience by when I was in Australia, and I was in Sydney at a bookstore, and I love, buying books, especially when I'm overseas. Books, especially before the internet was as of a focal point. This was back in this was way before Strategic Profits. So I was in Australia, and I was in a bookstore, and there was a book that literally was like 100 pages. It was a small little hardcover, and it was like 100 pages, and it was $100. And I wanted the book. It was written by Barbara Minto, and it was called The Pyramid Principle. And I wanted the book, but I didn't think a book should be $100. And so I really went back and forth on it. And it wasn't until I kind of considered that I've spent several $100s on a PDF that, like, if I want this book and I feel the information is valuable, I should buy it. But those two experiences that I've had made it very clear to me that everything has, like I said, not everything, but most things come with a preconceived value of what it should cost. And when you package your product, program, service in that way, in a way that there is a reference point, you then become victim of that reference point, which is why I really liked something very early on that Alex talked about in his book, where he was talking about how pricing your offer in a way that you don't even have to talk about your product being different, because the way that your offer is structured is so different that it's clear that your business is different. Very clear. And so that, what have I said on countless of these live streams? Different is better than better, because better is subjective and better is often not known until after the encounter or after the purchase. And so different is always a superior, especially if that different is in a way that is superior. And the structure of the offer, if you can make that difference so that it's clear that your whole business operates differently, it's powerful. So hopefully that helps. Hey, BM, it's called, okay. In your program, how did you actually help people discover the right niche or market for them? Sorry, I know this isn't about the offer. Yeah, that's a whole other issue, John. But I believe that you have to build your business around a strength. That strength allows you to solve a problem, fix a conflict for a group of people, or just solve a problem or fix a conflict. And then it's like, who has that problem? Who needs that solving of that conflict? Are they in search of it? Are they trying to find something? And so it's a sequence of activities. But what I would say is that it starts in two places. It starts, one, like getting to know yourself as strongly as possible, and then two, getting to understand what's going on in the outside world as strongly as possible. And the overlap of those two is where you focus. I know that doesn't help you that much if you're trying to figure it out right now, but it would take me hours to kind of probe deep enough so that you fully got it. My point is shouldn't we worry about low repeat customers in case of a weak product? Oh, well, of course. And, yeah, I mean, look, I think that, Sam, unless you just happen to be great at getting like free traffic, or you are great at buying traffic better than other people, and that's really your skill set, and you therefore notice that you can make a bunch of money by diverting traffic that you can grab and move it towards like a dropship offer, then great. But if not, then, why are you what you see? What I would say, Sam, is that there has to be a reason why you would be even doing drop shipping of supplements, right? So why do you have an advantage doing that? There has to be, and if there isn't, then it wouldn't be a good business for you to be in the first place. Because if you have no advantage, like you're not great at moving traffic, you're not there has to be something that allows you to sell this better than other people. And if it doesn't, recognize that you're competing with all those people. And some of those people will have some of those skills, which is why they're doing it. So yeah, it might be a great way to get some experience. So I don't want to negate the idea completely, because a lot of times, working in the direction of where you want to end up is a way of making some money now and also getting experience that moves you closer to what you want. But I wouldn't build a business in multi-level marketing, and I wouldn't build a business in drop shipping either, unless I was the actual drop shipper personally. Yes, loved it. Cool. Have different premiums for different pain points. Yes. For webinar, have you seen better results from written via VLS or a person who speaks in front of the camera? Never tested just those two purely, with all other variables the same, where I can speak about that intelligently. Hello, Kayvon. Good to see you, my friend. And Gilia? Gilia? Can you phonetically spell that out? Do you think that sell the bonuses, not the membership, after some weeks at a lower price is a good idea? It can be. It wouldn't be my default though. Especially it depends, I guess. I'm thinking of some kind of subscription, and if it is, then you should have a way for people to potentially get the bonus for a relatively low price to get started. So just selling them the bonus without that, I don't know. It really depends on how you price things. But if we're talking about something that was multiple thousands of dollars, and now you're going to reduce it down to $100 or a couple $100 to still monetize the prospect, then yes. I just wouldn't want you to hurt your main offer. That's where that's where my hesitancy comes. Makes perfect sense. Cool. Logic and emotions, yes, powerful to do future pacing, I think, and painting a picture of a brighter future, where they are to where they is the gap you fill. Right. Plus, one other thing from past where they want to be. The ever-growing pursuit of wellness. Okay. No, I haven't gotten a message from that person. Damn. Okay. I got to figure out who that person was, but there's someone. Hey, Rich, I have to jump in a bit, but just wanted to reiterate that CLR Winners is the best value in digital marketing, hands down. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Mark. Hey, Rich, great to be hitting this one up live. Keep rocking. Thanks, Cam. Thank you. You're welcome, Red Lip Marketing. Hey, Rich, great to be. Oh, I think I just did that. Oh, it came up twice. Big takeaway here: structuring the offer so distinctly so that you're beyond comparison with any competition. Yeah, that's from Alex. So just to give props to him. Thumbs up. Hey, Rich, great. Oh, wow. Okay, it keeps coming up. For a financial newsletter, there's a relationship between price and the amount of words written or frequency. No, there's not. What should be the difference between 199 and a 4,999 product? Thanks so much. It's really about the one is proximity to the guru, right? Another is like for Agora, let's say a newsletter is a monthly, right? Kind of physical or now digital if it's under 20,000 subscribers. And there's a daily email, right? But for a trading service, which would be like $5,000, that's like specifically what stock, buy this stock right now. And then it's very specific advice, exactly what to do. So one is more general information. One is very specific. Buy this today at this price, right? Like and that's the difference. Cam, you rock. You're my hero. Thank you for sharing. Yes, makes sense. NFTs and crypto are currently big and new and different tends to do particularly well. Twin flame photos were kind of their kind of most expensive sells for. Okay. Yep. Yeah. New and different always sells better in everything. Try 345 for a math book, Rich. That's British pounds. Yeah. That's like a J. Abraham book. When creating an offer for a membership, what are some key things to highlight to differentiate from a single product? Chris, that is when you're creating an offer for the membership, what you really should be thinking about is what is the most sexy, most compelling thing that I can offer that people who would join my membership would want. And how do I give that to them free by subscribing or joining? Newsletters and memberships should be sold by premium by the most part. And that's something that I've spoken about numerous times. So not going to go too deep into that today. But that's really where you need to focus. It's very hard to, a membership can be different because of all the resources inside, but still, the membership's going to grow over time, I would assume, like what you're providing. It's hard to know what you're providing in advance. They can't experience it either. So you really kind of want to fixate their attention on immediate gratification. And that should be done by some kind of premium that they get for free when they join the membership. Hi, Rich. How can we create high ticket offers for e-commerce, home decor? What should one point that attract the customer? Rajesh, it really kind of matters on who exactly the customer is and what is that pain point. I don't know what the pain points are in home decor, so it's hard for me to say. And I also don't know, why someone should shop at your store as opposed to any of the other stores out there. That needs to be kind of encapsulated in the offer. So without knowing more, it's very hard for me to say. Great, thanks. Ferrari book. Oh, 5,000. Okay. Rich, if you have $1,000 front end and 3 products in the back end, Do you think the back end should be similar in price to the front end? Absolutely not. I mean, understand what the even names of front end and back end mean. Like, front end is about acquiring a customer. It's not about, like, at the end of the day, at least in the direct response world, you have a front end product to acquire a customer. The goal is not necessarily to make a profit. Now, if you make a profit, okay, that's not a bad thing, but it does point to maybe you could be expanding your reach and selling more people at, those people at a loss, but you'd be selling at break even in total. And if your back end is bigger, that makes total sense. So front end is supposed to be all about acquisition. Like, what price point do you get the best type of customers and get the most of them, right? Back ends are meant to monetize those relationships. So front end is about acquiring, and back end is about boosting the value of that customer to the company, and therefore increasing the average lifetime value, which therefore increases the ability for the company to spend money to then go out and get more customers. So, no, you should never have a back end at the same price as a front end, because it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, after you have over delivered on the acquisition product, you should have set yourself up to be able to sell something for multiples of that product, ideally. And you want to, because that's what's going to drive customer value. What do you think about using telephones to sell instead of email or webinar? I think it is more powerful. Certainly, it's more effective. It requires more management and more people, but it is more effective, no doubt. Thanks for the past few months of following you. I've been able to determine the best niche for me is retina health. Very cool. I know in my 23andMe, I have one of the genes for macular degeneration. So hopefully I don't ever need to track you down, Trader Rob, but good idea. Hello from Egypt. Hello back to you, Asma. Rich, do you think the offer stacking technique is valuable? I learned it from Russell Brunson a few years ago. Yeah, I think it's valuable. Yeah. And actually, who went over that? God, what? Moran. Brian Moran from Samcart. I believe that is his first name, right? Brian. In a Steal Our Winners, Samcart has processed over $2 billion worth of orders in total, right, from all of the people that use their system. And so we did a Steal Our Winners. It's I don't remember what issue, but he talked about that being a conversion increaser if you have that stack on the actual order page. So yes. Drop shipping to minimize risk, but here comes the everlasting conundrum. I already have ideas for supplement products that exploit gaps in the market, but the startup costs and risks are very high. Well, Sam, you can always dry test, right? You can actually, one of the things, Sam, that friends of mine do in the supplement world, one of the first things they do is they test different packaging. So, and because they're testing different graphic representations of the packaging, right? Because they're not producing all these different packages, they're not letting people order, but people are moving towards Ryan Moran. Close. Okay. Thank you. But they're moving, but they get the data that they need. So there are ways of dry testing, and, there's crowdsourcing too, but I'm not anywhere near an expert on that. All right. So let's see here. Ryan Moran, cool. I sell memberships. Do you think the front end should be more general and have the most specific and also better products in the back end, or better to have the best product in the front end? I think you want to make your front end product strong, because the best customers are the people that actually go through the products. And you want people who are want more from you. And yeah, I think it's a mistake to hold back only for the expensive, and then most people never find out about it. So, no, I don't think that would. I think you should have your best stuff in your front ends. Now, it doesn't mean that like your back ends are worthless, right? It just means that it's different, and you got to figure out like what are the things that are only valuable when you've gone in depth long enough, which is not part of the front end, and what things are valuable that you can share right away, right? And sometimes you can share things. In a way where you're still not, they don't necessarily, you're not flushing fully out, right? And to give you an example of that, this was a free product, but nonetheless, like the Internet Business Manifesto, I think has like 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs on project management. There are lots and lots of textbooks on project management. I touch on it, move on, and I think that you can do that in front end products too, where you might have a lot more to say, but this way you're letting them know that you know more, but it's not the time and the place. Hopefully that helps, Thomas. It seems like there's a point of diminishing return on attention when it comes to bonus stacking, almost like 3 really good ones is better than 10. I would totally agree, because at some point, you're now competing with yourself. And yeah, I would highly agree with you. Now, you can have more and then group them up and then group them up. So, it ends up being only 3, but those 3 represent a lot more. How would you suggest crafting a front end if you start your business with high ticket coaching and now want to build more customer acquisition? Well, what I would say is that you're probably better off not doing that. It's very hard to sell something for $49 and not lose money, especially online. Now, if you're good at copy, you can do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's not easy. And there are, if you write good copy, there are places like right now, like Amazon and YouTube, where you can advertise and you can make money on the front end. But I would question, and it depends on what kind of coaching you do, but your goal is to get people familiar with you and want to be coached by you. One way of doing that is certainly by selling a front end product. Another way of doing that is doing what Alex Hormozi is doing, right? A Kindle Unlimited book. So now people can download it for free. You can sell it for 99 cents, but he's trying to get the right type of customer, and there's not a lot of them out there. So, it makes sense. And not everyone who buys your product is going to want to be coached, right? So one of the reasons I thought I had to create front ends, and then I wrote the manifesto and I didn't need any. So it really kind of depends on what it is you're trying to create. But if you didn't have to, I wouldn't. And what I mean by that is that if there were other ways to get lead flow for your coaching program, it wouldn't be my first default decision to create a front end to get lead flow. I would do other things. And without knowing a lot more about your business, I don't know what those things would be, but it certainly wouldn't start there. That would be the last option. Lots of people do it, but there are a lot of better options out there as well. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Your coaching program is open? No, it is not. Not right yet. How subscription model works for e-commerce stores like Macy's department store? I don't know that they have a subscription model. And if they do, I don't know what they're doing exactly. So now, finally, let's get to some notes, okay? So let's do this. No, that's going to be too small. Go that way. Yeah. And then I should be able to go, if that's probably the wrong way, should be able to change. There we go. But now, for some reason, I have to turn the camera on and off. So that's going to be totally not good. All right. So these were notes, actually. And you know what? I'm thinking now, maybe I should just pull up some of the notes on well, there's a couple things I want to show you. So actually, I'm going to close this. Let's see what happens when I close that. Oh, that's cool. And I'm going to first pull something up from Clayton Makepeace, rest his soul. I think I'm going to read this. I haven't read it, but I thought this was good a long time ago, and I assume I was not wrong. So hold on. Let me cue this up to share it. Share screen and window. It's called Make Peace on Offers. All right. The art of the irresistible offer. The offer is much more than the price you're charging for your product or service. In fact, I count 8 major components that great offers share, and we're going to take a detailed look at all of them in this week's issue. In contrast, an ill-conceived offer can depress or even kill response. Welcome to the days of, but wait, there's more. And now, as never before, now these might be just what I highlighted from this. I imagine it is. So just know that if it doesn't, like if the paragraphs don't, like one goes into the next. And now, as never before, the pressure is on. With every passing day, our prospects are exposed to ever more amazing offers, especially on TV, in the mail, and on the internet. It's getting ridiculouser and ridiculouser. When I first launched Health and Healing back in the early 90s, we offered a total of 4 free gifts, 2 with your 1-year subscription, 1 more if you signed up for 2 years, and 1 more if you responded within 10 days. Last week, I submitted sales copy for a health newsletter that offered a total of 17 free gifts. The simple truth is that your prospects are being conditioned to expect the moon. If the number of free gifts prospect expects you to offer has more than quadrupled, the rest of every great offer has also become more intense and complex. Anatomy of a power-packed offer, just about every great offer you see is comprised of 8 major components. 1, rationale. What great offers begin with is a clear, credible explanation of why you're about to give away the farm. I think a lot of people do not do this well. Maybe it's a special introductory offer. You're so sure that once the prospect experiences the benefits your product provides, he'll be a customer for life. Whatever your rationale for the amazing, astonishing, truly spectacular offer you're about to make, put it up in lights. Better yet, use it to position yourself as a concerned advocate and your new customer's greatest champion. Now, this is fundamental, right, to the idea, like the concept that even Robert Cialdini shares about the photocopier, and that just using the word because got a lot more agreement than if you don't use it. And it didn't really matter what the reason was after because. You could just say because. And so whenever we're presenting something that seems too good to be true, is an amazing deal, right? It is very useful, very necessary, and makes a big difference if you explain why you're doing this. A fire sale will do better than a sale, right? A sale, like telling people why you're doing something, the rationale, makes a big difference. And it's something that most people don't do. Okay, next, 2, discount. Several things to think about here. First, it's important to establish your regular price and make it seem like a really good value. To make your regular price believable, specifics are crucial. Tell your prospect where your product has been offered or sold for full price, or even how many thousands of folks have paid the full price of the product. In his internet promotions, one of my buddies even includes a link that opens a separate web page on which the product is offered at full price. Then demonstrate why, even at full price, your product is a screaming deal. Show how your product will save them or make them many times your regular price. Second, present your discount in a way that dimensionalizes your role as your prospect's advocate and champion. After stating and justifying the regular price, I often say something like, but it's so crucial that you get this help now. I don't want you to have to pay that much. You save half, and half price offer and half off have great visceral appeal. Anything else feels kind of stingy. Anything more strains credulity. Third, take the time to marvel at the piddling amount the prospect will pay. Here again, comparisons will serve you well. When possible, quantify the monetary benefits the product will deliver and compare it with the almost insignificant price. Break the regular price down to a daily or weekly figure and compare it with something far more trivial that they spend more on without even thinking about the expense: a gallon of gas, a cup at Starbucks, etc. Purchase options. Depending on what you're selling, determining how many purchase options you offer the customer can be a thorny decision to make. The key is to offer a low end price point that will get you the maximum number of new customers, plus one or more higher price points to increase your average sale and return on investment. The key here is to avoid presenting prospects with too many choices. Your chances of losing the sale increase with every extra second your prospect spends trying to decide which offer to go for. 4, payment terms. For most of my clients' new customer acquisition promotions, cash with order is king. But once a year or so, I also work with Boardroom on a Bill Me promotion. Payment plan. When your key price point, the level at which most of your customers will respond, is relatively rich for prospects' blood, consider a 3-pay or 4-pay offer. Till forbid, when your products are delivered regularly, weekly, or monthly, for example, this can be a great way to go. Negative option. You've seen this kind of offer most frequently in the book clubs and CD club promotions. Each month, the customer is notified of the monthly selection and an alternate selection. At that point, one of the 3 things happens. If he fails to respond, the monthly selection is automatically sent and his credit card is billed. If he indicates he would rather have the alternative selection, it is sent and his credit card is billed. Whoops, let me just move that. And if he indicates that he does not want any selection that month, nothing is sent and his credit card is not billed. Premiums. These are the free gifts that prospects receive along with the product they are purchasing. Typically, in newsletter offers, premiums are timely special reports that provide important information and advice on topics closely related to the theme of that promotion. 2 reasons. Timely special reports that can promise tremendous profit potential have a far higher perceived value than a hardcover book. Perceived value $29.95. We were talking about perceived value before, or any other free gift you could possibly offer. And B, printed reports only cost pennies to print and mail, and they can be delivered as PDFs or ebooks on the internet for free. When choosing the topics for premiums you offer, it's important to make sure that each one emphasizes and clarifies your main theme and or your product's USP. It's also crucial to create a premium structure that makes the highest price purchase option far and away the most appealing to the prospect. 6, the stronger your guarantee, the better. 1-year guarantees tend to be the most common today. However, I have written Rodale promotions in which you could return the book at any time in your lifetime for a full refund. That's pretty crazy. Delay your customer's decision date for a year, and you'll find that refunds fall precipitously. 7, urgency premiums. Prospects can earn these additional free gifts by responding quickly to your offer. Typically, these early bird gifts are given to anyone who responds within 10 days. However, in internet promotions, that can be for anyone who orders in the next 10 minutes. Fulfillment considerations. We Americans are not known for our patience. Instant gratification is big for us. So if you can deliver faster, why not shout it from the rooftops? Also, if you're not charging for shipping and handling of your product or premiums, why not put that up in lights? In an industry that routinely charges $6.95 or even more for shipping and handling, your customers will love you for it. Get out of the offer box. The moral of the story: allocate cells in every rollout to test at least one component of your offer. Test a stronger, longer, more specific guarantee, new titles for your premiums, higher and lower price points, new payment options, the works. I'll bet you dollar to donuts you'll be thrilled with the results. So that was just something that was in my notes that I said to myself to review, the Clayton Makepeace thing on offers. And so that is it. Hopefully you got some value out of that. I miss Clayton. And so it's kind of nice for me to see that. And I think I will, let's see. I have these other notes that I was thinking about sharing, but I'm not sure what would be more valuable for you guys. So let's see. Going to take a look at the one. Yeah. Okay. I don't need to preface it. So hold on. I'm going to share this one, and then we'll see if this gives us some stuff to focus on. But you know what? Before I do that, let me go here. I'm going to go back to here. 1 second. And I can't do that yet. So I'm going to bring it up. And there we go. Share. All right. Now I'll bring it back to me for a second. All right. I was bringing it back to me because I was going to say something. Oh, I was going to look at the questions, and then I was going to go. All right. Thanks for your honesty. My pleasure. Coaching and real estate investing niche. Yeah, I think then you should have the other products should be more expensive, and you have to figure out what you have to include in it in order to make them that way. What would it take to have you speak at a Hawaii mastermind? Would love to invite you for a paid vacation. Email. You can email Michelle at Strategic Profits, and Michelle will get that to me, and you can just go over whatever. Michelle is in charge of all of our external stuff. And even if it's not have anything to do with the company, my girlfriend might be very interested in that. So definitely send it my way, Martin. Might be interested in going to Hawaii. I apologize if that's too much to ask, but would it be possible to reach out to you? If not, feel free to ignore me. I have time, conflicts, and need to go. Thanks for answering the questions, Rich. No problem, Sam. Not sure. I would just suggest jump on another live stream, and I'd be glad to answer your questions. At least for now. That's probably the best way to talk to me. Rich, what do you think is the key to increase retention rate, entertain, frequency, value, or something else? Well, it all depends on what we're talking about. I mean, that seems to be a redundant theme here, but if you're the phone company, if you're the cable company, you have less to worry about, or maybe not. If you're Netflix, that, they're using data, right, to keep you retained ideally. So when we talk about retention, right, are you solving, this is the first thing I would say, right? Are you solving a forever challenge, or are you solving a specific challenge that disappears? So I've heard over the years that lots of people had lots of ideas for membership sites, and when they ran them by me, at least from my perspective, this was a specific event, and I don't think most people want to join a coaching program or a membership or a continuity of any sort about something that they don't plan on doing for a long time. So, for example, numerous people over the years have come to me and had the idea of creating a membership site about getting divorced for men, but people aren't going to want to stay a member of that very long. It's not a forever problem. You want to focus on issues, ideally, that there's an ongoing, never ending issue, pursuit, goal, what have you. Right. So for example, with me and Steal Our Winners, marketing tactics always get outdated. There are always new marketing tactics, and the cost of having an outdated marketing tactic is damaging to your business. So this is a forever challenge to have the most powerful marketing tactics deployed in your business in any given moment. So no one can ever that issue doesn't go away. Right. So that would be the first thing, because if you're dealing with an issue that goes away, you could entertain, you could, deliver as frequently or infrequently as needed, provide tremendous value. But if someone else, if they don't need you anymore, they might not retain. Right. So the first thing is are you focused or fixated around a forever struggle, forever challenge? And if you're not, that would be the first thing to fix. If you're planning on doing some of the other things, which is next, what is it about your membership why do you think people should stick around? That's first and foremost. And are they clear on those reasons? Because maybe you're right and they just don't know about it. Like what goes into the product? Why is it so superior? Why is this information better than any other information? Why is this membership so valuable? Right? Like if you don't tell people, they're not going to just naturally surmise that. So that would be next. And then I think, all of these matter. I don't think you have to entertain, but if you do entertain, it will certainly help. I think frequency, you can really depends on the topic. Really depends what you're talking about. Certain things I can listen to every day. Other things like I need a break. And so it really, I think it's too generic of a question for me to answer specifically for you. But I would say that first and foremost, is it a forever problem? Secondly, why do you think they should stay? And is that clear to them? And if not, how can you get them clear on that? And then next, I would say, are some of these other issues. You're welcome. Sure, we are getting value, Rich. So valuable, you don't even need to ask us. Well, I do need to ask so that you comment. Price reduction, bonus offer, stacks. Absolutely nothing beats a great offer that is uniquely positioned in the marketplace using a discounted dollar model. Absolutely, it's a great offer that's uniquely positioned in the marketplace using a discounted. Well, not everything can be a discounted dollar model, but I tend to agree that selling money at a discount is one of the easiest ways to go if that's what you're implying. All right. So I should actually, I was told this a while ago, and let me talk about this for a minute. So that there. And then we'll wrap up. I'll spend like 5 minutes on this, and then we'll go back to offers, and then we'll talk about offers for about a half an hour, and then we'll call it a day. So just really quick about infinity funnels. So for those of you who were not here on Thursday when we did a live stream about infinity funnels, me and Michelle Schaefer, I'm bringing a new model to market, and it's a far superior model in my opinion. And I am spending a boatload of money to do that. And so we ran a campaign that you can learn all about it, and you can watch the live stream on it, where you get to kind of look over our shoulder as we teach you everything that we're doing and share with you all of the testing that we're doing and what we're learning and what we're applying. And what I showed was the new Steal Our Winners site, which is a total different site, something that most of you probably have never seen before, at least in our market, because it will be front facing. In other words, the site in its magnificence is seen regardless of whether you log in or not. What's different, though, is whether you can actually watch things or preview them. And the bigger point, though, is that I believe that the models that people are using are somewhat outdated. And I am exploring a new model, spending a lot of money on it. And I've had a track record that has been accurately right for most things, right? And so this is an offer. There's two different offers on it. One where you can participate and ask questions, and that I think is $997. And there's one that's I think like $300 or $297, where you're just getting the videos or some parts of it. I haven't been that involved in it. This was more, I will be involved in delivery, but I'm more focused on the platform and what it allows us to do. And so some of the things that it will allow us to do as we test our way there is build fun, like think of a funnel being built based on the behavior of what the prospect is taking, like what action they're taking. And then the next step is actually put in front and create it on the fly. So personalized funnel development on the fly based on what AI has determined is the best path to take someone down. A amount of data that allows us to predict what each prospect customer would most benefit from, what they would be most likely to buy, etc. So, there's no doubt that our world is going to go down the same path that every other world goes down, or our market is going to go down the same path that every other market. And if you think that like the Netflix, Hulu's, Audibles, Amazons of the world, like their practices will not move into our industries, I think you are sadly mistaken. And so one of the reasons that I came back into this marketplace was not only to help entrepreneurs, but to pursue what I see as the future. And that's what we're doing. So this is very different than, buy my course, you're going to be making $1 million in a month from now. This is not that at all. This is recognizing that I'm spending a lot of money and I've made a lot of bets on a specific future. And for less than 1/100th, 1/1000th of what I'm spending, if you want to reap the rewards of all of what I discover for the term of the program plus 6 months thereafter, where we share data with you, then check it out. If not, no worries. But I would be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't tell you about this, because I believe strongly that anyone who goes through this material is going to know new distinctions that will really help them as time goes forward in figuring out how to maximize their opportunities. And what I'm referencing when I say that, and just to share a final story with you guys, one of the reasons why the original online marketing, internet marketing gurus were able to do what we did, why we knew more than everyone else, was that we came online with distinctions of direct response. So I knew back end and front end way before I ever opened up a browser. I knew what customer acquisition was and what its purpose was and why you use a guarantee and all these things that, like, even some of the stuff that we're going over here, most of it I knew, except that part that I didn't know that I shared with you that I learned when I was watching that webinar from Russell. And so we saw, when you're able to see things that other people can't see, right? Because you know what a back end is and a front end, and other people have no concept, they've never even been exposed to that. That allows you to see things that other people can't see. When you can see things that other people can't see because you have these concepts that you've been exposed to, that then allows you to do things that other people can't do because they can't see it. And so what I'm offering you is a time with me and my team so that you walk away with distinctions on how to really profit in the next couple of years based on the changes that are happening that our market seems, and most small businesses seem way behind on. So not my purpose here to answer questions about that or anything. If you haven't seen the video, we did edit it, so I think it's shorter than the live stream, and you should check it out. I think the deadline is tonight at midnight. It could be before then. Everything's on the page, and use the page more than me, because at the end of the day, the team is really driving this, and I thought it was a great idea. Normally, I would just do this internally and not share this data, but they thought it would be a good idea to do this. And I was like, yeah, sure. I love the idea of sharing it. I'm sure people will ask lots of great questions, and those questions will give me new ideas and new things to test and check out. So that's kind of cool. I'll leave this up for now. And let's see. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Rich. I sell stock recommendations is about performance or originality of the ideas. Much more about the originality of the current ideas and performance of the past ideas. But what I will share with you, and I've said this numerous times, not on this live stream, but during these live streams in the past, is that when we've taken the time, and it was expensive and time consuming to track performance of newsletters versus their renewal rates, or back-end services and their renewal rates and their performance, no correlation, zero. So great performance doesn't guarantee that everyone's going to resubscribe, and neither does horrible performance necessitate that everyone's going to leave. Platform looks amazing, can't wait. And what it looks like is just a small fraction, right, of what this new future allows us to do. So some of the things that we're not talking about as it relates to offers are like the credit system of Audible, which is similar to casinos, right? Where you use chips. And one of the easiest ways to actually increase the perceived or decrease what the perceived cost of something is to take it out of a physical unit that is clearly pegged in the mind. So that's why chips in casinos are used, because it doesn't feel as real when you're losing. It's the same reason why Audible gives you a credit each month, or 2 credits each month, depending on how you pay for it. That's something that we're exploring, right? Because Steal Our Winners now, all of a sudden, with this new platform and the new model, we have 180 different front ends that any affiliate, once we connect all the wires, any affiliate can promote any of those, right? And so it's a totally different game. Anyway, but thank you. Oftentimes I see offers where people just randomly anchor their full price, and it seems that there's no real connection to reality. How to overcome this steamed disconnection of anchor price versus reality? Well, in those particular cases, right, it generally doesn't work as well as if you can prove that people paid for it, like other people have paid this and show, like the way that Clayton was talking about. So hopefully that helps. After the Infinity Funnel training, what's the cost to actually use your Infinity Funnel backend? Well, so I'm not really sure, to be totally transparent with you, John. And part of the reason is that as we were talking, so I'm just going to share with you what occurred. There's no finality on it, but I can tell you that we're leaning in my direction, just based on how it's going, or past history, let's say. At some point, my team was like, well, we could also have a back end where we charge like 10,000 and then someone is in our platform. And I said, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. We might sell our platform, right? And that'll be a decision that our tech team develops, and whether they want to do that or not, right? I'm bringing in some, like, the top tech people I had in the past. So that's a decision they'll make. And I think that's what they want to do, because they would like to monetize this outside, and that's fine. But Steal Our Winners is not ever going to be bastardized by some offer that I can make some quick money, and then in the platform that everyone else sees, they're going to be like, the platform is much bigger than anything any one person could ever pay me. So I don't know what the timeline is for the using what the software that we're developing, right? The CDP, and it's not just software, right? But it's also tools. So I don't know the logistics of that, Jonathan. But I think over time that will be shared with people. Infinite points of entry, infinite organic growth, infinite monetization, infinite engagement, infinite path to scale. Yeah, those were all the things that we covered in the live stream that is on that page. The Infinity Funnel was mind-blowing. This is history being made here. Once again, Master Rich. Thanks, Renan. I think so. Is a course or a tool? The Infinity Funnel is something we're developing, right? And so it's a course right now based on a new way of marketing that we want to introduce to the world as we develop it, right? So it's based on our platform, which is a total game changer to the current platform for Steal Our Winners. That allows us now to start doing a bunch of things that people have not done in our space, and also use data in ways that have not been done in our space. But like, to do the data thing, we're going to need a CDP, and we're going to have to figure out what's the cheapest, best solution for something like that. And this is the process that we go through, and we're sharing the experience, as well as showing you why we're doing the things that we're doing and how we can get those 5: infinite engagement, infinite growth, infinite scale, etc. Great stream, Rich. Thank you. You're welcome, Sean. Any special conditions for those who already have a lifetime SOW membership? No, they're completely not related, except that you're one of our better customers. And all I would say is kid, not ticks. And I said it yesterday because I was on a groove thing yesterday afternoon with Mike Filsain. I drove over to his studio, and that, I have mixed feelings with every lifetime sale, because I'm happy to make the sale, but I also know how much of a bargain that someone's getting, and I don't really know how much people recognize how much of a bargain that you are getting if you happen to be a lifetime member. And some people got in at $250 as lifetime. It's now $1,000. It will be going to $2,000, and then it will be going away. And but it's like, imagine if you could buy for, some amount of money, a lifetime access to Audible, no matter what they keep putting on every month, adding to the platform, and you expect them to be in business a long time. That's the same. Like, eventually there is no lifetime deal. And but so when it comes to the infinity funnel, yeah, that's completely different, except like we're like kind of pulling back the curtain. No, it's totally not like ClickFunnels. No, you need to check out the video. Yeah, just check out the page. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul, right? Like, this is for people who get like what the value of inside information way ahead of the curve is worth. This is not like I'm going to show you a push button or business in a box solution. This is not that. That's not who I am. The reason I'm able to help so many people make so much money is because I deliver real shit. But real shit in general needs to be thought about. Is not like, just like a business in a box stuff. I hope that makes sense. I don't really want to talk about this as a Dan Druff. All right, well then it's not for you, Dan. How about that? But I've been around for 20 years, and my track record speaks for itself. So there you go. Rich, where can I find the live stream that you did on the infinity funnel? It's right there. They edited it and put it there. So that's all you have to do. Sorry to have arrived late. Never apologize. I'm happy you're here, Dr. Vogelman. And how will it be useful for e-commerce? Ask customer support. I want to finish my live stream. My purpose in doing this live stream is not to be promoting this, and especially when people who have no idea who I am are on this live stream and will say something stupid, right? Like Dan Druff, right? Yeah, it's a classic scam. I'm the guy that was the first internet business coach. I'm the guy that invented the freemium, the automated webinar, and have coached people like Brian Dice, Russell Brunson, Todd Brown, Mike Filsain, and so many others. So if you think that I'm full of crap, I don't know why you'd be listening. So go, shoo. And Ryan, if there's any way to block that guy so I don't have to talk to him again, like do it in YouTube, but then I guess also do it in Facebook, that'd be cool. All right, let's now get back to this. Sorry, guys, if that's like a bad, yeah, it sounds flaky to me. It certainly does. Dan Druff, right? But at least we can block that person. I do this, I don't like, well, you know what? The reason why that probably gets under my skin is because there's a lot of BS and bullshit in this market. And I do my best to not be grouped into that. And so to have someone even say that to me just bothers me. All right. So these are my notes, and I don't even know what these notes were from, but I know what they were from. I mean, I put them together as I was preparing for the creation of a module for D3, which was Desire, Demand, and Domination. It was a program I did a long time ago. And so this was some prep notes that I came across as I was searching my computer for information on offers. And you know what, though? I think since we don't have, well, we have enough time. Okay. So part of your offer is obviously some of the basic stuff. And some of the basic stuff is like having a value proposition, right? So, why should someone hire you, and why should they hire you over everyone else? At the end of the day, there needs to be a reason. And it can't be like, because I care, because this, right? Like at the end of the day, it's kind of like, We are all inherently selfish. We do things for our own best interest. No one is going to buy from you unless they feel it's in their best interest, buy from you as opposed to anything else or take no action, which in our markets are generally much more the case, right? Like that's another thing. Um, in the land of coaching, in the land of information products, um, more often than not, the alternative option is nothing, right? Like we do not sell things for the most part that people must have, they need to have right now, right? So it's not like people don't go and shop for a coaching program the way they shop for a coffee machine, but you don't have to like do the same level of effort to sell a coffee machine as you do a coaching program, right? So there's a difference. And so when you're selling a coaching program, the most likely thing that you're competing with is not buying a coaching program, not someone else's coaching program, but just not buying a coaching program. And when you're selling a coffee machine, that is not the case. The most likely second option is another coffee machine. And I'm sure that you understand that from your own experience, but maybe you've never thought about it as it relates to your thing. So now, like knowing that, why is buying from you the single best option for them? And not the dumbest people in the market, but the smartest people in the market. Why should they buy from you? And there's always an answer. And this is what marketing is all about. So look, I am who I am. And so if I'm out there with a coaching offer, and let's say you're a know nothing like dandruff, right? And so you want to compete with me for an online coaching program. Well, like, why should someone hire Dan Druff over Rich Schefren, right? Well, if I'm Dan, what I'm saying is, look, you know, yeah, Rich is great, but he did this like 20 years ago. Like, how you grow a business today is not the same way. And he doesn't know what it takes to get your first 1,000 opt-ins. I do. I did it last week and I helped other people do it last week. I'm telling you that there might be a time and a place for Rich, but like he is certainly not the guy to help you where you are right now. I am the best to help you right now because of what I know and the experiences I've recently had. I know what works on the ground right now. Now, I would counter that. Now, if I got a chance to be Rich Schefren and be like, that's why I created Steal Our Winners. So I talk to the best of the best every month about everything that works. But right, like there's an avenue for someone who knows nothing to compete with someone like me. And so that's my point here is that you have to have a strong reason, right? Like instead of it's like most people think about a lot of these things backwards, and I don't know why. And I guess it's just maybe because they think the answer is easier that way. But it's like the question, I've never gotten the question when I get the question about viral, right? Like viral growth, like, you know, Rich, you've had reports go viral. What do I need to do? What, you know, how do I make mine go viral? And I know when I'm being asked that question, I'm being asked for like a trick or a tactic or something like that. And it's like, let's be clear, like really clear at the end of the day. Like, think about your own experience of when you share stuff. Do you share stuff because of like you want to do the person whose product it is a favor? Or do you want to share stuff because the person you're sharing that stuff with, you're doing them a favor? So I would make the argument that people share more because of what they feel for that person than they do about the thing that they're sharing, right? So, what can you give someone that they would most want to share with other people that they care about that they would know? That's much more in line with like how something really goes viral. Like if I get something and I want to give it to people who I know that have a common issue that I have or something, right? So it's looking the wrong way oftentimes to say like, how do I make something go viral? You make something go viral by giving something to people that they want to give to other people that they care about. They don't, because they don't care about you. They care about the person that they're going to like be delivering that to? Same here. Why should, of all the choices in the world, why should someone choose you? And you should have an answer for that, right? You should have, like, I'm very clear, like, why someone should subscribe to Steal Our Winners. You subscribe to Steal Our Winners because there's nothing out there like it, right? You could join, I guess, a $40,000 mastermind and 3 times a year get what we deliver each month in Steal Our Winners, or you could just subscribe to Steal Our Winners. So there is no other product out there that delivers the tactics and strategies that are currently crushing it that the world doesn't know about. Period. There's nothing like that. When I sold my coaching program, right? When I first sold GPS, which was teaching theory of constraints, I was the only one teaching it at that time. When I launched my coaching program, I was the first one doing business coaching. So, like, I've always tried to position my stuff in a way that was completely unique. So if I could make a case that you were a potential customer for my products in my marketing, at that point, I didn't have to really distinguish that much differently. So let me know if that makes sense. And let's see. I'm coming back here. All right. So Madoff was around for 25 years. Later, man. Later to you too. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. You're welcome. Sounds flaky to me. Yep, certainly does. Yeah, no worries. It's all good, guys. I bought it, but somehow the credit card denied and later charged 3 times. Who can I go to for help with that? Oh, you definitely need to. Go to Ryan. What's our Ryan? Can you put in YouTube? Is it customer at Strategic Profits, or client at Strategic Profits, or support at Strategic Profits? It's our technical support is where you want to go, and we need to fix that for you. And Oscar, if you have any problem with that, hit me up on Thursday's live stream if you didn't get that resolved. Yeah, no worries. All right, follow up. Yeah, does it mean anything else? LOL. Wow, so sorry to see ignorant folks. Yeah, look, people are going to judge you no matter what. Don't overly worry about it. Oh, look at that. Cool. Hey, Kayvon, great to see you. I need to reach out to your team for a closer. Dillard referred me. Very cool, Kayvon. Thanks for your insights. Been getting your emails for a while now and decided to tune in. Glad I did. Cool, Tiffany. Glad that you did too. When an insurance attorney would ask my data as an expert witness, how could you do this or that or why? He would smile sweetly and say, because I'm very good at what I do. Is high ticket items selling like it used to, Rich? Did you say that this is the new norm of selling? Well, high ticket has been selling for quite a while. And I would say that I was having a conversation with someone recently. And it was, I forget now. We were talking about that they're high ticket and like, yeah, sorry, Emmy. I'm drawing a blank. High tickets are selling like they used to if you change the overall strategy. Strategy sessions are getting harder for people to get to show up, just like it happened with webinars, right? I tell you, people, like when I first did automated webinars, we would have like 80% of the people show up. That's because over time things degrade, which is, what I'm trying to teach everyone these days. But the new model, Emmy, one that we went over in the April, I think, of Steal Our Winners, that Cole Gordon, who has built the phone rooms for a lot of people, he went over a new model that is very effective right now at selling coaching. I'd go into details on it, but it wouldn't be fair. And I think I've done it before, but it wouldn't be fair to Steal Our Winners members. So if you are, just look for Cole Gordon. All right. Certainly. Let's go to Zoom. Cool. I started back in 96 and stayed in my little inbox. Now I am branching out and I realize how much I've missed. A costly mistake. Every day I'm getting up, looking forward to my next aha moment. Well, very cool, man. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know about you, but even like for me, like my girlfriend's out of town and tonight is the last night that I get to spend with my oldest daughter because she's flying back to Syracuse. So at this point, like my youngest is, I haven't seen her in like a week. She's been at my ex's. She's been staying, she just bounces around wherever she wants. So I'm going to be extremely lonely. And it's so nice to like, it's one of the benefits I even get from going to the gym, just being around people. Yeah, I'm a strange introvert. I like to do my work like in a hotel lobby as opposed to the hotel room. Yeah, being really excited about something makes life, in my opinion, so much better and more fun, and like everything is easier, right? Like I I'm going to come to me for a second, just because maybe this is helpful for some of you. I it might be an ADD thing. It might be something like that relates back to my childhood. Who the hell knows? But I know that when I believe that I have the potential to have a bigger impact on something, I get more excited. And that excitement then translates into being more passionate. It translates into making it easier to dive into work. It makes it easier to get more work done. And so many other things, right? So there's a big difference for me how I feel today about strategic profits now that once my team showed me the new design for the site, it for me made things more real for me, that I could see that, okay, people get, like my team got what I was saying. And now we got to get the world to see it. But so even that one step for me makes it it makes it a lot more motivating and a lot more like, it gives me a lot more fuel and juice, right? I like in everything I've ever done, whether I had no impact or a lot of impact, let's just remove that from the equation for a second. I felt like I was going to have a massive impact. So when I was in the fashion world, I thought I was redefining fashion. I don't think I really did, but at the time I thought I was. And when I started my hypnosis centers, I thought I was going to redefine the way mental health was done. I don't think we really did that either, but it fueled me. And, one of the reasons I left and retired back in 2012 is that I didn't see what my place was anymore. I didn't see what I was going to do that was going to change things. That was going to be profound in any way. And just to continue doing like a treadmill kind of thing is not very exciting to me. So that's one reason I retired. I also had a bunch of other reasons, but, and now, like the first year of Steal Our Winners, we're trying to figure things out. I know that I was dissatisfied with the experience and all the other things that relate to that. But for me, having a big, ambitious goal just brings out the best in me. And sometimes you can have a goal that's too big and you don't believe you can do it. And I don't think that's smart. You can also have a goal, though, that's too easy, that is not exciting enough, that is not profound enough. One thing that I'll share it another time, but I'll share it right now. One thing I learned, which I thought was really kind of accurate, I learned at Landmark, what S became ultimately. And they had, imagine I drew a stick diagram, and that it looked like a rainbow because there were a bunch of lines above this little person, right? So I'm drawing a little person, and then I'm drawing these lines around it, and at the very top of the semicircle, surrounding the person, the top one, and there's ones below it, right? They talked about resignation and how when you were younger, you thought you might change the world. So the first one was the world. And then at some point, maybe you thought you could change your country, right? Then maybe it was like your community. Then maybe it was like your neighborhood or class. Maybe then it was your family. And maybe now you're not even sure you can change yourself, right? Like that's resignation, all of those steps. Everyone has their own comfort place, their own place where if they feel like they're making a difference, it propels them forward. And for some people, it's just, let's take that same diagram and now say like impact. For some people, all they care about is themselves, and being focused on that will drive them forward. And that's what they should, if that's what drives their energy forward. For other people, it's something a little bit bigger. It's not so much about like themselves. It's themselves and their team. Whatever it is, like knowing what it is for you is incredibly important. It's totally not the point of this live stream today, but there was something about that question that just kind of alerted me to share that. And what I would say, and I think now, like as I'm speaking this, it's becoming clear why I wanted to share it based on that, because it might not be so clear, is that it's also more exciting to be out in the world. At least this is for me. It's a lot more exciting to be out in the world when you have an answer to the question, what's new and exciting, or what are you working on, or what's new? And when you don't have something that is new and exciting, something you're working on, some big project, and you respond over time, nothing much, to what's new, no matter when you're asked that. For me, at least, it gives me less and less of a reason to even go out. Not that the only reason to go out is to share what's new for me, but being reminded that there's nothing new day after day after day can be a little depressing. And this is the total opposite of that. Don't know if that helps, but if it does, Trader Rob, at least for me, that I noticed that. And so to nowadays, for me, like when I don't have an answer to what's new and exciting for too long of a period of time, if I am not thinking like I'm going to change something that's going to have a profound impact, like these are all signals that I know about myself, right? So what you have to do as an entrepreneur, each and every one of you, is figure that out for yourself. Like, how do you get the best out of yourself? And that should be, well, if you keep a journal, it's much easier because you can go back to the times when you really excelled and really understand what was it that you were thinking differently, doing differently, what was different. I have the luxury of having journals for 30 years, so they're going to be very relevant to me personally about those things. But, for you, if you don't have the luxury of a journal, then you just have to kind of think back to those times and what were you doing differently. I hope that helps. Like, I just think that so much of success is mindset, but it's mindset that when it's off, it can really block you. But just it being right is not enough. The elements of business need to be there, but you have to figure out you have to be the biggest expert on your own performance. And if you're not, become one if you are an entrepreneur. Thank you, Emmy. Same thing when Tom started their BOGO on shoes. They put people in a position to feel good about themselves and look good in the eyes of others when they talked about the brand and shared that they bought them. Exactly, Cam. And, like, no offense to anyone that has a Prius, right? But how many people are picking a Prius because they care that much about, the environment versus it fit with how they wanted to be seen. So many of the things we buy, and I'm not, that's fine either way. So many of the things we buy as signals, right? Signals of wealth, signals of success, signals about who we are, athletic or not, young and hip or not, refined and cultured or not, right? Like they define us. We look for things and the narrative and the way these brands and items are perceived in our culture. And then we buy or want the things that we feel we want to be seen as. I agree, Rich. SOW competes very well, if not better than your masterminds. Cool. Makes great sense. I'm ready to buy in because I love your work and vibe. However, as I am a ClickFunnels centric and have many campaigns going, I'm curious what your platform will be when your platform will have a beta. Robert, we're not trying to replace ClickFunnels or Groove or any of those. So I think that long-term, I'd be less focused on that. And I would imagine that we use ClickFunnels too. So just to give you a perspective, and I imagine that we will always have some funnels but that, for other things possibly, but the majority of our traffic will obviously be sending straight to the platform as we figure out how to leverage the platform. Is there a day for SOW lifetime members to get access to the new platform? I do not know, Kayvon. That would be another question that I am in the dark of, but you could ask customer support. Oh my God, I'm a hotel lobby worker too. Yeah, there's just too many distractions in the hotel room. And it's so depressing to be alone in a hotel room by yourself. I'd much rather be around a flurry of activity. Same here. Hotel lobbies are always have the best furniture compared to the rooms. I never thought of that, but that's true too. But it's just, yeah. At Robert, you can read the sales page and see if it's for you. You are learning a new paradigm for funnels that is taking technology that is working well in other markets to new markets. ClickFunnels would not support it at this point anyway, and there is no date for beta or whether that will definitely be a thing. Yes, but likely opened up in the future, but likely will not be anything like pricing for ClickFunnels would be my guess. True, Paul. I think you said it perfectly correct there. Months, not weeks, I think is realistic. Yeah, I would say that I think the plan is that after in a month and a half, we will be letting the lifetime buyers, I think, have access, but don't hold me on that. And I know that a lot of it will be dependent on us, not everything is 100% at this point, and we're beta testing everything with the people that are going to be in the Infinity program and sharing what's not working, how we're fixing it, all that kind of stuff, right? But I agree, Paul. Shared 3 times. Damn, man, that really resonates with you. I need to feel like I am having an impact as well. That's big. I hate the feeling of resignation. Yeah, and Cam, there have been many times in my life where I've really had to challenge myself and really kind of ask myself, do I want that? Is there a car that I really want and I'm just not comfortable saying that I want it? I don't even own a car right now, just to let you know. Right now I was using my ex's because she was in Canada for 2 months, and now I'm using my girlfriend's. I don't have a car. And it's right now there's no car that I want. And but if I can have any car, is there a car that would get me really excited? And right now the answer is no. But sometimes I have to is it really no? Or you just don't think that and I'm talking about cars here, which probably not the best thing to talk about because I'm not a car nut or anything. But there are certainly there are things that I bet each and every one of us have had dreams of having that we've resigned ourselves and no longer really think about that. At least as a 50-year-old, I certainly feel that way. And so I would imagine that. So my point, Cam, is that this not only applies to business, right? It also applies in other areas. And I think oftentimes we can confuse resignation with a lot of other things. And that being the case, I just want to visit that from time to time if I think that the way I'm looking at things, one, might not get the best performance out of myself, and that might be okay if the performance doesn't matter, but let me make sure, right? Okay, got that. Okay. Yep. Good stuff, Rich. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Michelle, someone I gave your email to someone earlier about me maybe going to Hawaii for a mastermind. When you get that, just toss it over to me. My mindset has been off lots of times. This pandemic has been really tough on focus. I know that. Interesting. I certainly, my life was very different back when when COVID started, right? I was going back and forth to Baltimore. I was still had strategic profits inside of Agora. I really developed some really great friendships with Joe Schriefer, Pete Coyne, Evaldo, Katie, and a bunch of other Matt Inslee, and many others, Lydia, etc. And so I miss those people. I used to get to see them almost every week when I went to Baltimore, and Matt, obviously. But I worked with those guys a lot more than Matt. Matt came on towards the end. But yeah, so my life has changed dramatically too. And I will tell you that, like, I feel very different. I've traveled a lot in the last year. I've been to a bunch of places, and I'm very happy I live in Florida. Life seems the most normal here, and so I don't have the daily reminder of COVID that I think a lot of other places have. And yeah, so but if your life has totally changed or the way you operated totally changed, it's probably a good idea every once in a while to pull back, look at what you're doing. Like, is this the ideal way? A lot of times we can fall into routines or activities that, when we really think about it, it's not in our best interest. I know I've done that countless times as it comes to wasting a ridiculous amount of time on YouTube. I've had to pull back countless times. I'm a coffee shop and airport kind of worker, lots of noise for some reason to get me focused. Airport. But don't you have to clear security these days, Ryan? Unless you're like out by baggage. Appreciate your twist on a +1 for the long run. Everybody needs a step. What's the difference between SOW and Infinity Funnel? Totally different. Steal Our Winners is a monthly program that delivers tactics and strategies that are currently crushing it that the world doesn't know about. And Infinity Funnel is a new way of marketing that works really well for like elements of Audible, elements of Netflix, elements of like what a lot of bigger companies are doing, and applying it to Steal Our Winners. It is the platform and the way of marketing that we see as part of the future that we're willing to share as we develop it. And it's a great offer for the right people, and it's completely the wrong offer for the wrong people. So that's what it is, John. Is the Infinity Funnel a one-time payment without a monthly cost, or will there be an additional cost? It's a one-time payment, but it's not a piece of software. It's a training, and it's a learning of information about what it is we're doing. So just trying to be clear on that. The pandemic lockdowns have actually been super helpful to me in terms of reflection, focus, and new ideas, with the exception of family, COVID deaths, of course. Yeah, I mean, and there's a time for reflection. That's really important. A lot of people don't take a lot of time to stop and reflect. And I've often taught that the single best teacher you will ever have is your own experience, because your own experience is perfectly customized to the exact actions you've taken. So, and then reflecting on that and what it's telling you and what needs to change is insanely valuable. And if you don't do that, you're really like self-handicapping, which is never a good idea. So I've gone 10 minutes over. I hope this was valuable to you guys. And I think I want to do one more on offers, if that's cool with you guys, unless I have something already scheduled for Thursday. So if I don't have anything scheduled for Thursday, what I thought would be cool is share some notes that I think you guys would be interested in, and we can kind of walk through them. And that would be my notes on $100 million offers. And I don't want to give my notes out because I don't want to motivate anyone not to buy his book. I think, you know, my notes are for me and on this one. But I do want to share them, and I want to share what I highlighted from them, and I haven't gotten to that, so that'll give me a reason to get that done. And I'm supposed to talk to Alex. I think, like, I spoke to him last week. I think I'm supposed to talk to him this week or not. I reached out to him. We talked for half an hour. The time went by super fast. We both had lots of things we wanted to share with one another. So we booked another call for like an hour, and I don't remember when that was, but we'll be doing that soon. I'm heading to Arizona for the Copy Accelerator Mastermind. That is the August 31st to September 2nd. And then I will be out at Traffic and Conversion. And the day before that, the Mimosa Mastermind for Amber Spears. And I think that is it. I will probably be also going to Wake Forest to check that out with Elle, my youngest, and also Boston College. So she can check that out as well. So that's what's going on. I will see you guys on Thursday to Higher Profits and Beyond. Rich Schefren, over and out.